Hello, everybody. It's Chuck Kuck. Great to be with you today, managing partner here at Kuck, Baxter Immigration. You know, we have seen this week, I guess last week and this week, Democratic leadership fail to exercise the power they have in Congress on immigration. This is the game that Democrat leadership are playing with the parliamentarian, a former deportation attorney for the INS, what you would call today ICE attorney, who deported people as her first job out of law school. Do you think she's changed all that much? Really? Yeah, it's been over 20 years, but apple doesn't fall far from that tree. If you went there out of law school, you've got those tendencies. And she literally made up reasons to not go with the Democratic proposal on immigration, which is a great proposal and clearly has economic impact, both positive and negative, but more positive than negative. But, she just kind of blew it off. Now, did you know that the Democrats can overrule her by a simple majority, 51, overrule the parliamentarian and do what they want? Do you know they could do that? They can. They could just. Do you know they can fire the parliamentarian? Did you know the Republicans did that back in 2003 or 4 when the parliamentarian ruled against them on something they wanted passed? So they fired the parliamentarian. That's how this one ended up getting her job, ultimately, because the other one got fired. They could do that. So why don't they? If this was a Republican issue and she ruled against on something like this, they really, really, really wanted and needed to pass in order to maintain their majority in the next election, do you think Republicans would even hesitate for 1 second to fire her or overrule her? Just no, they clearly wouldn't, because they don't care. This is the problem. I guess Democrats care, for order more than they care for their agenda and care for the people that put them in the majority in the first place. I will tell you this. If Democrats fail to pass a significant immigration reform package, they will lose the Senate, they will lose the House, and they will lose the next presidential election. I don't care who Republicans run. They will lose, because they will have lost a huge constituency who depended on them to do the right thing when they had the power to do it. It's really that simple. So this great plan that we talked about last week for Dreamers and TPS and essential workers, a plan to recover visas, a plan to add gone. That's gone, unless you go to www.amazon.com and order a backbone for Chuck Schumer. I don't know if there's any left. He may have run through them all and tossed them out. So I don't know, but I don't think they're going to pass that. So now the Democrats' plan now, I want to pull the law out. The Democrats want to take a law that was first written in 1929, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at this. See if I can find this rule. It is called registry. And when this rule, I've got my handy-dandy Immigration Nationality Act here. Look in the handy-dandy Immigration Act, and it's actually section 24. That's backwards, isn't it? Well, it's 249. Trust me, it's 249 of the Immigration Nationality Act, otherwise known as 8 U.S.C. Section 1529. And it says this. So this was written in 1929. It was put into the Immigration Nationality Act, which is this act, in 1952. Yes, it's been 70 years since we fixed our immigration laws. I get it. And it's been amended, let's see, once in 58, once in 65, once in 86. And that's really the last time they amended this. It says this: a record of lawful permanent residence, which in modern parlance means a green card. A green card may be approved in the discretion of the Attorney General and under such regulations as he or she may prescribe in the case of any individual who, one, not related to people who are smugglers, criminals, subversives, violators of narcotic laws, who establishes the following. They entered the United States prior to January 1, 1972. The original bill, the original law for 1929 said 1924, July 1, 1924. So 5 years back. And the purpose of the original bill, and keep in mind, it was done during the height of nativism and eugenics in the United States immigration law. Basically says, well, we want to clear out. It doesn't help a society to have lots of undocumented people. And so let's bring them forward and create permanent residence for them in 1929. They said, if you've been here for 5 years, you've established that you should be able to get a green card. I know, the irony doesn't escape me. So the current law is, if you came prior to January 1, 1972, so approximately, do that math right, 49 years ago. If you came 49 years ago, 49 and a half years ago, and you have been continuously resident in the United States since then, so you've been here without leaving for any significant period of time, let's say more than 90 days, and you're a person of good moral character, and you're not otherwise ineligible under the immigration laws, then you get a green card. And so the Democrats want to take that law and change the 1972 date, which not many people left who've been here continuously since 72. They don't have a green card. Although I have done cases in my career, including one most recently 5 years ago for registry. There are people that you'd be surprised. I have great stories about that. Change that date to, I have heard different dates. I've heard 2006, January 1, 2006. I've heard 2010. I've heard 2016. I've heard all those dates. I don't know what date they're proposing. I haven't seen the supposed proposal that they're writing. And if somebody can find the proposal and wants to put it up, I'll be happy to see the link to it. But as far as I know, there is no registry date available from the Democrats that is public right now. As far as I know, there isn't one that I've seen. There's some articles out there about it. Most recently, one today by Stuart Anderson that talks about this, but none of them give me the exact date when that might be. All right, but this is pure amnesty. This is literally nothing to this. It doesn't establish anything, but you have to have been here for that period of time. So basically every dreamer, if it's 2007, every dreamer will get a green card, because and every dreamer will get a green card. TPS all get green cards. Lots of people who were not protected by essential workers will get green cards, but lots of others won't. And it won't help anybody in the backlog, in the India and China backlog. None of those guys get helped. Well, some of them might, but not a significant number. And so that's the proposal. That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to put forward. And their idea is that, well, surely, Mr. Parliamentarian, you wouldn't do this, which helps 8 million people. Maybe you'll do this. Is just changing a date. Just insert in place of 1972, 2011. That's it. That's literally the language. I just wrote the bill. I just wrote the bill. That's it. Will they do it? I don't know. What do you think? If the parliamentarian rejected the quote complex bill for Dreamers, TPS, and essential workers, why do you think she would agree to this? She doesn't like immigrants. She doesn't want immigrants here. She's anti-immigrant. It's clear. Her rationale is garbage. Her rationale said this: well, if Congress can do this, next year they can come back and change the law. I think they can do that anyway. Well, really? Congress can change the law? They did. If they could. So what? I mean, that's how laws work. So this is the new plan, registry. It's just that simple. If you've been here since X date, you get a green card. Just like that. You just apply. Now, ultimately, will this pass? I don't think so. I don't. And of course, now you've got Kristen Sinema, who, maybe she's going to be an independent. She's not going to be a Democrat anymore. She's basically said she's not going to sign on to the bill. Manchin, who knows what he's going to do. So Democrats just can't make this happen. And Republicans are watching them. And Republicans, many of whom I think, well, some of whom would agree to this, I think wholeheartedly, in a heartbeat, would agree to this, are just being told, don't do it. Let the Democrats do it. Now, because they don't, Mitch McConnell believes that Chuck Schumer doesn't have a spine. And so he won't do it. He won't do the necessary. Now, a lot of people are also upset at Dick Durbin for some unknown reason. Well, he didn't include sections 2 and 3 in his proposal to the parliamentarian. There's a strategy there, because if he puts it all in one bill and it's all rejected, he's toast. By piecemealing it, he gets to play the game a little bit. So they reject the registry. He goes back again, and he says, well, at least have to recover all these visas. These were already planned. They're already part of the plan. And the only reason they didn't get done is because of government incompetence. Surely you can't object to that. So all the people that were whining about Dick Durbin, Dick Durbin's a brilliant man and a great parliamentarian, a great statistician legislatively. We'll see if he does. But at the end of the day, unless you can order a spine for Chuck Schumer from Amazon.com and have it delivered to him, I don't see this passing. I just don't. And it's awful, because I've been doing immigration law now for 32 years. I was a young lawyer when IMAC 90 passed. Literally the last time we had an affirmative immigration solution. Okay, I was in law school when amnesty passed. I did a lot of amnesty cases out of law school. So I've been waiting my whole career for a change that reflects immigration in the 21st century. And here we are, 2 decades into the 21st century, and Congress just twiddles its thumbs and just, we're trying. It's so hard. It's so hard. Can't do it. Republicans, so hard. I know we have all the power, but it's so hard. There you go. I just don't see Democrats going to be able to do it. So I pray they do. I mean, I think it would be great for everybody. Because we need to fix this. Nobody wants to keep living with this hellaciously terrible system we currently have. Keep in mind, even if they pass these things, it's not fixing the system. The problems are systemic. They're systemic. Not getting your DV visa in time, systemic. Waiting in long lines because immigration doesn't use long numbers, systemic. Not getting your employment card, systemic. H-1Bs getting denied for no reason, systemic. It's all systemic. It goes to the statute. This is this whole legislation is a Band-Aid. It's fixing a past problem. It's not fixing the current and future problems. What can I tell you? You bang your head against the wall long enough, maybe you just give up. America is supposed to be the country that welcomes people. I'm not going to get into the whole Haitians at the border thing and what the heck they're doing with the horses down there. That's another thing. Let's take your questions today. And I'll note that we're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube all at the same time, thanks to our friends at StreamYard. It's actually a pretty cool program. So let's take a look at this. This is from Twitter. I heard the registry date is going to be from January 20th. Well, actually it would, but keep in mind, it would help because you have to be physically present in the United States since that date. So most people in the backlogs, I'd say at least 70% in the backlogs have been here since 2015 in any status, H-1B, F-1, a big majority have been here. So I do think it would help get rid of some of it. It wouldn't solve the backlogs, but I think it would help. But the problem is future flow. The problem will recreate itself. We've got another Twitter question. Obviously, thank you, Backlog. Iman, this is from Facebook. My question is, has any of the lawsuits regarding satisfied its purpose? Are you happy with the outcome? Well, Iman, first of all, I'm unhappy with the Gomez case because the argument was he should have reserved all the visas in a class action. I think he made an error there, but it's an error that probably will never be fixed. I'm also unhappy that he has not ordered that all the individual plaintiffs that are remaining, which aren't that many, like 1,000 left out of the 9,000 get their visas. He hasn't done that. And we don't even have an order to the government about when they're going to do it. So on the Gomez case with DB 2020, I'm not happy with that. But I am happy because every one of my clients, except for 14, got their green cards. And I'm super happy for them. And the lawsuit was definitely worth it for them, as well as thousands of others. Thousands of the people who weren't plaintiffs got green cards. On DB 2021, I am very happy that we have won the lawsuit. that told the Department of State that you can't do what you're doing. You have to issue these visas. I am not particularly thrilled yet because we don't have a final judgment. We don't know what the judge will ultimately order. And we have argued both for our plaintiffs to get green cards. And so far, about 120 of our plaintiffs have gotten their DV green cards so far out of our 900 plaintiffs or so, more or less. And so that's great news. And we have argued for the whole world to get visas and our plaintiffs. But, right now we're fighting for our plaintiffs. So the judge, in an oral argument in July, he insinuated he could give a universal order. And I agreed with him. You can absolutely do that. You don't need a class to do that. And the class that was pending was ultimately dismissed. And then in a status conference that I was not a part of, okay, but I read it. I wasn't invited to be part of that. And because, again, we won our case already. We're just literally now waiting for him to reserve the visas. And if he reserves it just for our clients, it's absolutely a win. And it serves the purpose of our clients, and excited for them. And hopefully orders them to do it within 6 months when they never issue visas anyway. So they have plenty of capacity to do that. But I hope he also does it for everybody else. So my lawsuits, our lawsuits here at Impact Litigation, yes, I'm very happy with the results. I'll be happier once I know what those finally are. All right, so we've got, but thank you. It's a great question. Let's see on Facebook. Will we have any chance of future DV 2020? We're going to know within the next 8 days. By September 30th, we're going to know. So that's a good question for next Wednesday. We'll probably know by then. Mr. Kuck, please tell the judge on next Monday that the estimated number of DV visas. No, it's not accurate. We actually, Tony, Tori, we actually are putting in our status update that it's going to be closer to 16,000. So yes, we'll be able to do that. Esperanza de Facebook, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Gusto verte. Glenn, how are you? Good to see you. Osama Saeed, do you expect the judge to reserve all gold plaintiffs? Actually, we will likely be asking to reserve 2,250 visas because not all of our plaintiffs have filled out the form. All you people listening on Go, would you tell your friends by social media to fill out the form? We're missing like 200 people, and we really need that by tomorrow. We really, 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 really need that by tomorrow. So tell them who haven't filled it out to tell us what's going on. So we're just extrapolating, but we're probably going to ask for over 2,200, and that's to make sure that all our plaintiffs get them. Isn't this Durbin, since he's leading negotiations? No, Durbin's, quote, leading negotiations, and he's presenting the case to the parliamentarian, and he's got a strategy for that. It wasn't to put all his eggs in one basket. I think it was a good strategy. We didn't understand the strategy last week. We now understand the strategy. It's a piecemeal approach to get something. And so he starts out with the big ask, and he twiddles that down a little bit. I think that's not a bad approach. I don't think it's going to work, but I don't think it's a bad approach. So basically, we won't know right away, and we have to know by Monday, right? And we're supposed to vote on this stuff on Monday, so next Monday. So we'll see. I think we'll have answers shortly. But thank you for that. But keep in mind, it's Chuck Schumer's job to push this through. If the Democrats, Chuck Schumer, want this, he's the one that's got to do it. Glenn, good to see you from Facebook. It did not pass a good plan for the immigration. I agree, Glenn. I think they're toast. A decade? Longer. And forever. Everybody that gets burned today, when they do become, because eventually something will happen. And it has to. We can't keep living like this. I mean, something will happen. But the Democrats will lose their opportunity for a generation. How Richard, a backlog, they help it by saying basically, okay, your priority date is June 1, 2014. That means you were here, right? You get a green card. Boom, registry. If the date's 2015, you get a green card. Forget, you have to file a new 485, but forget about the backlog. Done. You're good. You're good to go. So those people disappear into residence. Everybody that's left then moves forward, and they get the visas that are available. All right. Ayman, are you satisfied with the outcome? I already answered that question. Mohammed, what about the first visas were not granted to select days of the fiscal year? Will they have relief and reconciliation bill? Well, so right now, no. 6002 wasn't deleted. It wasn't presented. So strategy, right? Next registry, they say no. Then next, the other one, strategy. Don't know anything about DV 2020. Still pending. We're waiting for the judge. The only hope left is Judge Maida. That is right now. That is correct. And the dependents, since it's true, unless the dependents were here. For registry, it's an individual relief, so they get it. If they're here, and they generally are, generally speaking, they each individually file, just like they would individually file an adjustment of status application. Tori Wong, the key point is you need an appointment to book a medical test. Oh, this is for the diversity lotteries. It's. I agree. It's at this point, it's probably too late, which is why, again, from the beginning, we've talked about reserving visas. We knew this was going to happen. It happened last year. And apparently, all you DV 2022 people, it's going to happen again. If you're DV 2022, you better be sending in your DS-260 and your documents now and emailing. I'd email the cases every week. Am I documentarily qualified? Am I documentarily qualified? Am I documentarily qualified? I would bug the heck out of them until you get it. I would do that if it was me. Of course, that's me. I'm a little more anal in that regard. But we will likely be filing a lawsuit for DV 2022 because the Department of State came out yesterday on Monday and said, tier 4 DV, except for DV 2021. As if we're not going to sue them again and win on this issue. You can't fourth prioritize people that only have a year to get a visa. That's not how this works. Sorry. Sir, we have been merged with Good Luck. No, we haven't been merged with anybody. So I don't know what you're talking about. Our case is separate. We will get relief and we'll get it right away for our clients. That's why we probably reserved for us, and there'll be other visas maybe reserved for them in the future. That's what I talked about, Ronald. No V 2020, 17, 18, 19. No. Hassan from Facebook. No, you already asked that question. No. Tori, the hospital's in 3 weeks, but still says completed. The miracle is the reservation, Tori. Fitz, I'm glad them are finding made-up problems. Thank you, Sari. You said it, not me. Ronald from Facebook. Sid's Good Luck. I was afraid I'll lose my chance. Let's make sure. Well, first of all, our case is first. There's a strategy here. So you're welcome. Wait, did you say thank you? I think you said thank you, right? Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. And we will move forward and get you guys your green cards. Greg said it will include they also include backlog and recapture visas. Well, we'll see. We'll see what they're going to do. Jessica, ¿cuándo crees que vayan a presentar el plan B? Ojalá hoy. I mean, ya el tiempo se acaba. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Vamos a ver. Nick the Patel. That's great, by the way. They registered in 2010, help EB backlog. Most EB backlogs are prior to that date, which is why somebody said 2015 would be a huge help. 2010 is not going to help. It would help family-based backlogs, although most of those aren't in the United States, so you have to be physically here. Iman, my question is an explanation. If the lawsuit regarding recertifies, are you happy? Oh, I already asked that question. Prakash, can you help about any EB back clearing plans? Well, you're talking about the Chakrabarty case. So we filed our response to the government motion, to our preliminary, to their motion to change venue, and our reply to the preliminary injunction request. And we're now waiting for a hearing from a judge or an order. So we're just kind of waiting at this point. The government has no backlog clearing plan. There's no backlog clearing plan. They just got reported on by the GAO, the Government Accounting Office, and said you have no plan. You have no plan. You're not doing squat to fix this problem. Let's see. How about Jacob? Kenny, I am not Jacob's lawyer. You'll need to talk to the lawyer who has the Jacob case. I don't have it. Most EB backlogs at priority date, how is registry going to help? Well, it only helps, Nick, if the priority date for registry is 2015. That's the only way it helps. Is that? Yes, General Grievous. That is Yoda. You should be scared, General Grievous, because Yoda is coming for you. Do or do not. There is no try. One of my favorite sayings. There you go. See, he puts that in there. No, 2015 would help tremendously. So that would help tremendously. Let's see. In registry, you have to be present in the U.S. from the registry date. What do we? Well, continuous presence actually has a meaning in the law, and that meaning is you can go and you can travel back and forth. You just can't have been gone for longer than, let's say, 180 days. Other than that, that's continuous residence. When I've done registry cases, What I've done is I've just submitted one document a year for like 40 years of stuff, one document a year. And that's been good. So lawyers know how to do registry case. Well, old lawyers with gray hair know how to do registry cases. Young lawyers have no idea. Deadline for this is actually the 27th. Remember, Nancy Pelosi promised the moderate Democrats they would have a vote on the 27th on both the reconciliation bill and on the infrastructure bill. That's Monday. We'll see. Let's see. What is this bill going to be introduced to the Senate? Well, that's a great question. It doesn't really get introduced to the Senate. It just gets given to the parliamentarian. So we'll see. Hola, hay que los Estados desde Cuba. Well, so much. Estamos esperando del juez para clarificar su orden. Ruse, good to see you from Facebook. Hanny from YouTube. Will it help to be lottery banned by the former administration? Only if there's a law change that needs to happen. Now, if you're DV 2021 and you were banned and you're a plaintiff, yes, you're helped. I think so. Ayman, you're welcome. Katia Medina, DV 2020 expired. Again, we already told you what we think is going to happen. It's up to, we are asking the judge for clarification, and we'll see what happens. That's what we're asking for. Any response from the government Iranians? None. They refuse to respond to any of our questions, and don't worry, I don't have COVID. We are including that in our status report. That here's the questions we ask, and they refuse to respond. I don't think the judge is going to be happy that they're literally refusing to answer questions that need answering. To carry out his order, we need his questions answered. What do you think with DACA if Tennessee doesn't get past the reconciliation? DACA has got a big problem. Well, understand this. Joe Biden can fix the DACA problem tomorrow by going through the Administrative Procedures Act. He can do it. Can absolutely do it. It's the only reason it was set aside again was for the APA. He can publish a rule in the Federal Register and he could fix it. Just like Obama could have done this for DAPA. They didn't. Hubris. Will the registry help people with false claim of citizenship? No, it will not. Let's see. Where are we? A lot of questions today. It's good to see. Good to see all these platforms out here. Let me see if I can find where I was. Where's RKRK? Here we go. Amit, what about legal document essential workers? I'm on OPT, worked in healthcare during the pandemic. Registered. Yeah, you would not be eligible if you weren't here since 2015 or whenever they set the date. Do you think the section have any chance? Actually, I think the recovery of unused visas is absolutely going to pass the parliamentarian because it's basically kind of passed before and it's not changed. It doesn't change the status quo because these are visas that should have been issued. So I think those have an excellent chance of passing the parliamentarian. And then you'll be grateful that Dick Durbin separated them, won't you? Will everybody send apologies to Dick Durbin? I'll be waiting. Karen Green, how do you recommend doing, as I've heard of the DACA, if you have a deportation order in absentia? Yeah, no problem. Absolutely do it. And then if you marry a U.S. citizen, you can get a waiver of the 212 absentia order and get a green card. Anyway, U.S. can save 80,000. Yes, they could. They could agree to our lawsuit. They could tell a judge, we agree with this lawsuit. We've settled the case. They ordered this done, and they would do it. So could they do it? Yes. That they have refused to do it, which is just stunning to me. Ash, just about everything. We're answering all the questions. Any chance the third H-1B lottery? Well, you tell me, Amit. We are alleging that there's a chance for the H-1B lottery because they have only notified 112,000 winners this year, and last year they notified 125,000. Now, that said, last year's denial rate was 30%, and this year's appears to be like less than 10%. So statistically, from last year's numbers, yes, but I don't know. But we are alleging it's a possibility in our lawsuit. Manchin is against Democrats. Manchin is for Joe Manchin and the oil lobby and the coal lobby. That's all Joe Manchin cares about himself. Abogado, no sabe cuándo van a mandar los permisos de buena fe para los... Felix, han mandado algunos, pero pocos. Y honestamente no sé cuándo los van a mandar los demás. Vawa from YouTube, why did it take very long? Yeah, November 2019. Yeah, I know that's 2 years, but it's 3 years less than they're taking for U visas in the same place. So my answer is because immigration is poorly run, poorly managed, and understaffed. So that's why. It's nothing to do with your case. It's everybody in that situation. What is the deadline something done by reconciliation? Well, until they pass the reconciliation bill, which they promised the one caucus, the conservative caucus, on the 27th. We'll see. Will I think it be voted on? Well, I was reading some stuff today that said no way. That Nancy's probably going to have to postpone it and get permission to postpone it. But we'll see. Well, somebody said Nancy Pelosi has never brought a bill to the floor that she didn't believe could pass. Well, that's not true. She had a bill fail about a month ago. But certainly she's she's a great strategist on this stuff and a great vote counter. ¿Pudiéramos montar OS en un avión o volar a los Estados con visa 2020 vencida? Puedes tratar. If you've got a note from the consulate and you've got your visa and you've got the Department of State wordage and the order, see if you can get on a plane. Somebody tried the other day and couldn't get on. ¿Hay alguna novedad en cuanto a DACA para recibir? No, ninguna, Claudia, lo siento, de Facebook, Masaya. Any info about adjustment of status after September 30th? No, there will be no adjustment of status on DV 2021. These reserve visas are only for consular processing. Only for consular processing. So if you are adjusting status in DV 2021, you better have a lawyer who's calling the local office every day, twice a day, every hour to get you interviewed. Ramon, thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate that. How about losers? We don't. They're gone for right now. Maybe they'll come back in one of the sections that might pass Congress. For the registry rule, will a 4-week visit? Yeah, that won't be a problem. Yeah, don't. When it says continuous residence, don't fret short business trips or pleasure trips. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. DV 2022, I already talked about that. Rewind a little bit to DV 2022. You better be getting your documents in and get ready to sue because they're just not going to do their job. Since there are only 800 Go plaintiffs, it's actually 900 Go plaintiffs, but almost probably that's the judge schedule interviews for reserve visas. Well, no, it's not because the judge is not going to order them to do that for individuals until plaintiffs until after the year. So I'm sorry. Good ask, but not going to happen. Karthik, what can be done if the loan green card does not pass? That's a really great question because it's not going to pass next year. The next time that I would see a chance for immigration reform would be in a lame duck session. That is a session after the November 2022 election, November, December. That's honestly when we've got most of our positive immigration legislation is during a lame duck session. Because you have people who lost who don't care. They look, I'll vote for it now. Now that I don't have to go to re-election or they're not running again, I'll just vote for it because it's the right thing to do. That is our only hope is the lame duck session in November, December 2022. Jessica Quiñones, ¿qué va a pasar de Facebook con las visas que nunca usaron? ¿Todavía se podrán usar con las personas que esperan para una visa? Well, ¿en qué categoría? Hay una propuesta por esto que todavía tiene chance de pasar. Esa es la esperanza. RKRK, can you please answer? If the registry procedures pass, no, it will not. I already answered that question. Don't answer it and ask it twice. I always answer. Osama from Facebook. Yes, registry for all new visas. Osama, really? How long did you spend in law school in the United States? Really? How long have you spent in law school? I'm just kind of curious. Did you listen to our argument? Did you hear the judge and I talk about this? So, you know what? I'm going to ignore your question from now on. In fact, if I see it again, I'm going to block you. That would be great. Ogbar, do we know what the update is in Kinsley case? No. The update is it's still pending. That's the update in the Kinsley case. Durbin sends section, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. My understanding is they're working behind the scenes. But he held those in reserve so they wouldn't get knocked out from the big ask that I think they knew was going to get knocked out. Let's see. You're welcome, Amaya, for answering your questions. My pleasure to do these. ¿Cómo funcionan las autoridades civiles para la residencia? Well, tiene que ser de un país que puede participar en el sorteo. En octubre tendrá el sorteo por 2023. Ya, por 2023. Entonces, mira, paga atención aquí en octubre y te diré cómo registrarse. Reserve Go plaintiffs, continue visa, is that the best? That is the likely outcome. That is the likely outcome. Do you think recapture visas, extra fees to jump the queue will be acceptable to Senate parliamentarian? Well, it's a good ask, and it doesn't change. The big thing about her first decision is you're letting in people who aren't going to get green cards. You're changing your big blah, 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 blah. The other provisions don't change the status quo. You're already here. You already have a green card pending. So it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything other than letting you get a green card faster, which is beneficial to everybody. So I think it's got a pretty good chance of passing. But again, I'm not holding out any hope because Democrats would screw up a one car parade. Shahul, can we file for adjustments based on crunch? Yes, absolutely. Your spouse does not have to be here. Absolutely. Go Cairo, not working. Also, to judge order on September. Reservation, I told you from the beginning, is the key. Mr. Cook, what does DV Lottery mean? DV Lottery is Diversity Visa Lottery. Every year we give 55,000 green cards, immigrant visas to people from around the world from low immigrant countries. So most of Africa, Eastern Europe, some countries in South America, some countries in Asia, but not countries like India and China and Mexico, Salvador, that have large numbers of people immigrating to the United States. Let's see. Best approach when downgrade remains pending approval, but he becomes current. Withdraw the downgrade. Withdraw the downgrade. That's what I would do. Withdraw the downgrade and ask for adjudication on the approved I-140. What is the timeline for 10-year registry interest bill this week? Like today is my understanding. Last question here. Jose Velasquez. Buenas tardes, abogado. ¿Cuánto tiempo están tardando los permisos con viaje? Como 4 meses. 4 meses y pico. Debes tenerlo pronto. Wow, Tori, well, good on Mr. Cook. I feel safe to talk with you. So Tori can now go to sleep. So pray. We're going to put our response in to the judge, our status report tomorrow with the judge. We've already gotten the government's status report, their version of it. It's doesn't say anything. It just says they've got visas pending, and it's really the big nothing burger. And we'll put it up on the website and the Twitter machine as soon as we get it filed. If you have DOC and married a U.S. citizen, what are the options? If you entered without a visa, get a travel document, advance parole, travel, come back, and file for a green card. I do not think the judge will reserve numbers less than the number of plaintiffs. I don't. All right, everybody. Thank you very much on YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. It's going to be with you again. This is moi. I'm Charles Cook, abogado Charles Cook. If you ever need to reach us, you have questions, you want an appointment, call. Just call for an appointment. We do them by Zoom, on video, we do them on phone, in person, whatever you want to do. We have a whole bucket of lawyers. Firm, it's not just me here, right? We have like 50 people that work for me here, and we do every type of immigration. We don't just sue the government, although that could be a great full-time job. Certainly it was under Trump, and maybe it's going to be that way under Biden. We do have a couple more comments. If Democrats can't pass this bill, is it bill dead? Yes, until November 2022, because they can bring it back up. Because of COVID, Saudis not issuing visas to go to Saudi get birth certificate. I don't know. That's a question that I have to do a little research on. What is the confidence level Senate Democrats will submit any original Senate part? Oh, they will submit. 100%. They're going to do it. It's just a question of what she will do. Hay oportunidad para los padres que tienen hijos mayores de ciudadanos solamente si entraron con visa o tienen la protección de 245I o tienen padres de sí mismo que son residentes o ciudadanos. Thanks again, everybody. It has been a joy. I love doing this. I love seeing you. I'll be back personally on Monday night with my friends Jeff Joseph and Greg Siskin and Aaron Hall talking about the litigation update. And I'll be back next Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.